Dear Papa, my studies have been very rewarding. They have introduced a new game to practice our skills. No abilities, no healing, just you against another. Electric. And my friends are learning too.
Yeah, I'm heartbreaker. 어디 나는 주고 뺏겨. 싸납게, 차갑게. 누구나 싸가지.
Now we know where you fit in the food chain.
But you know me, Papa. I take my education seriously.
Love me loco.
Even the extracurriculars. Miss you lots. Je t'embrasse.
Here's what nobody's telling you about the new Bearskin hoodie. This fleece is thick. It's made from 340 GSM of bearskin fleece, which is super warm, wind blocking, and
Xbox have just decided to drop the lovely list of Xbox Game Pass titles that are coming our way for this holiday season, and honestly, it's a pretty decent list for us to dive into. We have a mix of games new and old, with a standout for me really being that of Routine. I really can't wait to get the heebie-jeebies when playing that one, and yes, I will likely stream it, so make sure to subscribe for that down below. With that though, let's just dive right in and see what's coming to your Xbox Game Pass subscription for this December. First up, and one of the biggest releases on the Xbox Game Pass this December has to be Routine. Finally, after 8 years of long development hell and barely hearing much about it, this horror FPS is finally set to arrive on the 4th of December. If you're unfamiliar, Routine is a horror experience that is primarily set on an abandoned lunar base. It is all sort of built around a retro-futuristic design that looks insanely creepy. You'll not only be exploring this abandoned base, but you will be uncovering some disturbing secrets and then surviving some terrifying threats that are hunting you down. I honestly cannot wait to get my hands on this one after waiting so bloody long, and I just need to muster up the courage to get through this one by any means possible. Again, I will be live streaming this one on the 4th of December, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. A game about digging a hole was a massive hit earlier this year, and you may remember seeing a ton of different outlets and streamers covering this game at that time. It may seem like a rather simple premise though, it's just you digging a hole, but what you find as you dig deeper is what really keeps the game so addictive and so bloody entertaining. Ultimately, you will dig the ground, find materials, sell them to upgrade your parts and equipment, and then journey deeper and deeper into the earth. I've already played this one over on PC, and I won't lie, it's pretty addictive, and it will really surprise you with what you come across time and time again. I do recommend that you put this game on your radar, even though it's a smaller release and it may be one that's a little bit silly on the surface. Raw Fury has been an excellent publisher for Xbox Game Pass this year alone. We have not only seen a Game of the Year contender in Blueprints on the service, but are also dropping Routine and this next game called Domekeeper. If you've somehow yet to come across Domekeeper, it is a roguelike mining adventure that combines elements of a roguelike with survival and resource management into a really cohesive adventure. You will take control of a very small base and then have to defend it from endless waves of alien attackers, and in between those attacks you'll have to dig beneath the surface of this alien planet to recover valuable resources and relics to ultimately upgrade your systems. The game currently has over 9,000 reviews over on PC since its launch, and it has over 93% very positive, which just speaks volumes. I can easily tell this is going to be a fantastic addition to this growing Xbox library, and I highly recommend you keep it on your radar for this December. You already know that I'm a huge fan of all things strategy and also deck builders. Well, SteamWorld Quest and Monster Train 2 are two of my favourites so far, so I'm really excited for a brand new title in Death Howl, as it will be launching onto Xbox Game Pass for PC on the 9th of December. This one is set in some forgotten mythic lands where you play as Ro, a hunter grieving the loss of her son. Guided by the voices from the spirit realm, she then crosses into a world of ghosts in hope of bringing him back. Death Howl looks to tell us an atmospheric story though of grief and resilience, while throwing you into some very tense turn-based battles against ruthless spirits. In that case, you will be building and mastering your decks of powerful cards, use shamanic totems, and uncover long buried stories that shape Ro's emotional journey. It does look very simplistic in terms of its graphics for sure, but knowing that, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic experience underneath all of that. Well, it seems that leaks a couple of months ago surrounding Mortal Kombat 1 were definitely correct, as this newest entry is landing onto Xbox Game Pass this December. This reboot of the legendary series actually reimagined the Mortal Kombat universe and introduced an alternative timeline where iconic characters like Liu Kang, Raiden, and Scorpion have redefined origins. The story mode in this instance does offer some cinematic battles that are intertwined with a gripping narrative, while the refined mechanics ensure that combat feels very tight and responsive. The new aspect of the series though were cameo fighters, which actually added an additional layer of strategy by letting players call in assists during their battles. Upon doing some research, this one still sits as a pretty mixed one within the hardcore community, as the game does feel a little bit more watered down compared to older Mortal Kombat titles, but for newcomers and beginners, it seems well worth diving into. Oh boy, another month, another outright games title, and this month we're being treated to Bratz Rhythm and Style. I bet you all can't wait to just style on the runway as your favourite Bratz. Said no one ever. As much as I jest, I know many younger fans on Xbox may actually enjoy this one, especially surrounding that holiday season when they finish their school. I personally will only play this one for the achievements, as I'm such an addict these days for seeing that number rise and rise, and I'm certainly needing some easier games to beat a competition that I'm entrenched with some of our members over in our Discord community. Do also join that if you're interested. Still, if you are interested in this game, then it comes to Xbox Game Pass this December. Whilst I do have this game on my mind, it's well worth making you aware that Lost Records Bloom and Rage is out right now on Xbox Game Pass, as it finally arrived onto the service as of today. This is the latest entry from the team over at Don't Nod, and this one follows a group of teenagers in the 90s as they're not only dealing with their friendships, but also paranormal happenings within their small town. This one has seen some excellent reviews across the board from most who have played it, so it's definitely worth checking out. These are usually narrative-driven games though, with very little in the way of combat, as it's more decision-based, but hey, they really do hit the mark for many out there. This also comes with both tapes, as it has been out for a while, so you're getting the full experience when it lands onto Xbox Game Pass.
Battleship sunk.
Enemy battleship detected.
Enemy submarine spotted.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Enemy heavily damaged. Battleship foundered.
I need intelligence data.
Engine boost activated.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire. Support the Allied target. Enemy battleship sunk. All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target. Requesting support. I owe you one. Enemy destroyer blown up. Engine boost deactivated.
Premium members amongst us, you are certainly feasting this December, as you actually have some cracking games coming to your tier in particular. I mentioned this game a little bit earlier on, as it's one of my favourite deck builders, and yes, that means Monster Train 2 is coming to Premium on the 3rd of December. This one really did build on the original's deck building brilliance though, as it added way more factions, card synergies, and tactical layers. Each carriage of this train is a battlefield, and deciding which floor to defend or abandon is as important as the cards you play. What I really love most overall about this one though is the escalation, as fights do start small, but by the final battle your train is a chaotic fortress of demons, spells, and improbable plays. Monster Train 2 is utterly fantastic, and you need to play it as soon as possible. On the very same day, you're also getting the addition of Spray Paint Simulator, and yes, this is very similar to Power War Simulator, but instead of spraying stuff clean, you're instead painting things. I won't lie, I don't really like this one, and I found it so bloody clunky and frustrating within many of the levels just simply due to the mechanics. Without a doubt, the bridge level in particular is the worst, and it took me over 5 hours just to complete that one level, and I think many of you who have probably played this game know what I'm on about. I don't know how others feel about this one though, but I would say it's probably the weakest addition to the Xbox Game Pass Premium library for this December.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The #1 food for regular BMs, huh? Okay, let's see.
Fastest way to clear out stuck poop is by adding more fiber to your diet.
Not quite.
Ignoring that mostly mediocre game though, we have an excellent game in 33 Immortals, which is also joining, but on the 4th of December. This is a co-op action roguelike that's bringing something truly unique to the table. The game is all about massive scale multiplayer action in the best way possible, so essentially 33 players take on relentless waves of enemies and towering bosses together. It's kind of like a massive MMO raid, but streamlined into a more accessible, fast-paced experience. If you've ever wanted to experience that exhilarating all-in battle feeling, but without the usual MMO grind, then 33 Immortals is certainly the perfect fix for you. It is still in early access via its game preview state, so it's not 100% feature rich, but they have been adding some cracking updates over the past few months that are definitely worth trying. If you thought Premium has been great so far, then Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will top it off for this tier on the 4th of December as well. As you probably know by now, you will step into the shoes of Indy himself, navigating intricate puzzles, high-stakes action sequences, and